On his Matt Mosley Show. And thanks to everybody coming in. We got lots going on. We got NBA trade deadline. We appreciate everybody. That was major, major breaking news yesterday as as we were coming out with Anthony Davis trade happening. And there he is. Put him in the uniform. He's a wizard. It's where he belongs. He can live out his days. He'll probably be traded like 3 more times, but they can give it a go. With he and Trae Young and some interesting young pieces, including my old friend Trey Johnson, who knows? Could you keep him on the court for in an 82-game schedule? Could he play 50 games? I mean, that would be a win. If he could play 60, it would be legendary. All right, they would just automatically end his career and put him in the Hall of Fame. But there he was. And that was cool, Kev, because we always are on Twitter. We'll have a pretty good crowd that joins us, and a lot of times they stay with us, whether we're talking about Baylor or whatever. We appreciate that because we got a lot of Baylor people who want the Baylor. And we got a lot of, Cowboys people and Mavs that they want the other stuff. Well, I'm going to do it all, okay? There'll be times some of you are like, oh, Mosley's talking about Baylor again. Well, that's okay. That's okay. It's what I do. It's what I do. And the Bears had a big win last night. Take that with you. Take that back to Boulder, Colorado. All right? The Bears are 3-7. 2-game winning streak. Here they go. Here they go. And so that was exciting, especially a day after we had Scott Drew on the program. And there is Cameron Carr doing a little bit of celebrating. And man, is that Cam? I think so. What a win it was for the Bears as they just ran the Buffs off the court. Tunde was great. Cam made huge plays. He was not great in the first half. He kind of got going late in the first half a little bit, but Tunde was unstoppable, played great defense. Buffaloes were never in that game. I mean, they just got waylaid. I think the Bears were up. I don't know when the last time it was close. I mean, I remember it being like 9-6 maybe, or something like that. And it was just kind of after that, it was over. It was over at halftime. Bears were up by like 24 at the half and played tremendous D. Agbum continues to hit big shots, and he was hitting from deep. And they just got great performances all around. And Tunde and Cam always have the possibility of going off, and they both did. You need somebody else to be the X factor, and Agbum continues to be that guy these last couple of games. A 2-game win streak. Thank you very much. Colorado has some decent players, but it's just between Rancy or Rancik and the guy with the mustache that they kept talking about was like an NBA type player. No, sir. No, sir. Didn't look like it in that game. And the Bears, again, Stills, played tough, that man-to-man defense that they seem to have embraced, and they're playing better. I don't think I saw any zone until like the very end of the game. They put the reserves in, and they were trying to play a little bit of some kind of weird matchup zone or something. But bottom line is the Bears win, and they found a way. And Tunde Yesufu went with a head of steam is a problem. He's great on the offensive boards, and there he is with a finish. And they had no answer for him. He's just too good, too strong. It is an odd thing when a freshman that's like 18 or 19 years old is so much stronger than everybody else on the court. Like, there's not a single person on the court. My gosh. Looks like a tough little hand check there. I mean, that guy right there was the best player for Colorado really. I mean, he was the only one making some shots like in the first half. That guy at least played hard. What a sad little Buffs team that came in and left here. I'm just glad, Kev, I am glad the Bears are not the worst team in the conference. I thought it was kind of trending that way. And it's kind of nice to go, oh, better than you, better than you, better than you. All right. Better than West Virginia, better than the Colorado Buffaloes, probably better than the Utes. Should have beaten Cincinnati. Come on now. Beat OSU on the road. This program needed a tad bit of swagger back. And my goodness, if they didn't grab a little bit last night. Now, Kev, we'll talk a little bit about this with Cam Stewart's going to join us from San Francisco. He's embedded, and they got some huge, he and Pete have a big interview with some former Patriots greats. I think Christian Faria and old Chad somebody. Who is that? Who's used to play for them? It was a pretty good player. Chad Brown, does that sound right? Anyway, pretty good Patriots going to be on with them. And I think they're going to be taping this for the Pete Souza show. But Cam Stewart was good enough to hop on with us. And so, Kev, whatever we want to do, we can take a little early break if we need to. But I want to feature Cam coming up here. Oh, he'll join us in about 7 minutes. All right. Now, latest on, Kev, the NBA trade deadline, because as we speak, till about 3 hour time, that's the actual deadline. And I know ESPN has a show on right now from 12 to 3, 3 hour special. Well, down the stretch here, not much is happening. The Milwaukee Bucks, according to Shams, have indicated to teams that they are keeping Giannis through the trade deadline and will start making other trades, sources tell ESPN. That happened almost immediately. The Milwaukee Bucks agreed to trade Cole Anthony. Kind of remember him. Feel like he had a little time with the Magic. I've seen, he's kind of like one of those guys. It's just, he's okay. He's okay. And Amir Coffey to the Phoenix Suns for Nick Richards and Nigel Hayes Davis. Yeah. I mean, I kind of remember Coffey. I mean, again, some of these players were at one point people thought pretty highly of it. Bucks just pulled. Again, it's just kind of like just why not? Just switch up some players, change some locations. I'm sure there's some financial stuff involved in this, but Giannis is going to get left right there at home. His old buddy, had been traded already to the Wizards. Now he's been traded to the Mavericks. And so he got out of there. Getting traded to the Wizards is never fun, or ending up with the Wizards. That's where he ended up. Talking about Chris Middleton. And now Giannis continues to stay with that group. And this Nigel I mentioned returns to the Wisconsin area, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where he played his college basketball. Our man Kevin Hall, Hoosier Hall, is a Big Ten enthusiast. I'm not even sure our own Kevin Hall, though, remembers too much of Nigel Hayes Davis from his time at Wisconsin. I have slight memories of him because
it's a little familiar, but yeah.
He wore number 10. I can tell you that. All right. I do kind of remember that. The Bucks had been focused on incoming calls for Giannis. We learned earlier today that the Timberwolves were in on him. Timberwolves, and they finally pulled out, but they were big time involved. And so, boy, Anthony Edwards. I'm sorry, I got AD on the mind. AE. Now that would have been pretty interesting. The Ant-Man. This other one that was kind of interesting was Alvarado, my man Alvarado from the Pelicans, just a pesky little guy, just a mean little guy. It's always goofing around, stealing the ball. I kind of like him. He ends up with the Knicks. Alvarado from the Pelicans now ends up with the Knicks. I kind of wanted to see if there's anything else going on with Mavericks. The answer is doesn't really seem like it. I was going to see what my man, my old morning news colleague, Mark Stein had to say about things. Always good to check in on Stein. 39 seconds ago, Clippers trading Zubac to the Pacers. Jake Fisher has this news. So we do have a few things happening. We have our resident Pacers expert, and we were just talking about a guy who's no longer with the Pacers, who was traded to the Bucks, and people kind of thought the Bucks had done some weird things even in that one, or he signed in free agency, I should say. Talking about our man Miles from the Dallas, Texas area, from the Dallas-Fort Worth area is where Miles is from. Miles Turner is who I'm speaking of, by the way. Sometimes when I say Miles, I want to say Miles Davis. That is a famous jazz musician. Kev, interesting, huh? 1 minute ago, that news breaking. This was not even from Shams. This was from Jake Fisher. Clippers trading Zubac, who, again, been a good player over the years, to the Pacers. Sources say. Need to get some more details on that one. I mean, Zubac he's a mean son of a gun, and he's a mountain of a man. I mean, let's not act like he's not. I think if you're a Pacers fan, you have to be going, first of all, like, okay, why? Okay, maybe for the future. What's Zubac's salary look like? How many years are left on that deal? But Zubac is the kind of dude that you want hanging around a title contender. I promise you that. He is mean. He kind of reminds me of Steven, what's his name? Zubac he's a good player, but he kind of reminds me of Steven Adams. Steven Adams is kind of got mean, snarly attitude. You want him on your team. If he's on another team, you may hate him, but you want the man bun.
That means you got McConnell in the guard position. It's like that, and now Zubac on the inside. You know,
I kind of like the way Zubac. I like the way he rebounds. He's a relentless offensive rebounder, and goodness knows he will lean on you.
That's what the Pacers need, more oomph on the inside.
Oh my gosh, this is kind of funny. Cam's ready. I'm sorry, Kev. I just had too much NBA to not. I know you thought about taking a break, but Lord help, there's just too much going on in the NBA right now for us to be taking breaks. We will take care of our unbelievable sponsors, including that one right down here, Central National Bank. But without further ado, because he's joining us, and then he has an elaborate setup to do with Patriots. And oh my gosh, I'm very concerned about Cam Stuart possibly doing a little fanboying this too much. Now, he's a good, solid reporter. What cap do you have on today? Oh, is this
Remember
Mojo?
The old Mojo one? Yeah.
Odessa Permian?
It's my press box cap, Matt. It's the only one I have that's not Patriots, Bruins, Baylor. I got to be neutral here, so went with the Mojo one. It's got some looks.
Where do they put streaming shows on Radio Row? Is it right in the middle of all the radio stuff, or are you kind of off to the side? Give me an vantage point of like kind of where the Pete Souza show sets up. And I know the man who brings a lot of candles with him from Waco, Texas, the Smoke Monster. He likes to get right in the middle of things. Are y'all sharing an area
No, so
with the
we're in
Smoke Monster?
we're in two different spots. Smokey's
Okay.
Bandits are kind of catty corner to us. We're in like the middle of the room, Matt, to give you something of an idea. But
like
we're
that.
not kind of with, we got the big guns behind us. We've got NFL Network down there. We've got Bounty's got a huge studio in the corner. So we're kind of in the middle of the action here. We really are.
In the middle of the action. Yeah. I like, man, I appreciate it. I know y'all have a big one coming up, and it'll probably air. Do we want to tease that, or are you wanting to kind of tease it via promo? I don't want to step on any toes here, but a couple of former Patriots greats are going to be joining y'all. Is that okay to tease that interview?
Yeah. So we're going to have Chad Brown and Christian Fourier together. And Matt knows his college football. He knows his Big Eight. So he'll know that those two guys played together at Colorado.
Yeah.
As well as with the Seahawks and the Patriots. They were part of all three of those teams. Obviously, two of them playing in the Super Bowl this week. And they're just they just go back and forth with each other. They've just been chatterboxes all week. So we're going to get them on with Pete, who will be, a terrific moderator. And I'll just say this. You will see it before the Super Bowl. The big game, sorry. You will see it before the big game.
I want you to get involved in that interview too, though, because you followed those guys as a young lad and you remember some of their best moments with the Patriots. I don't know if you even followed much of whatever they did with the Seahawks. That's interesting. I didn't think about that. By the way, those guys they're not old enough to have played in the Big Eight.
I think they did, Matt.
They played in the Big 12. Surely
the
not.
Big 12 was 96. They both went into the league in 95. Look it up. I had to. They're both all Big Eight players.
Those guys played in the Big Eight. That is crazy. I still think of, those guys are like my age then. That's crazy.
Well,
all right.
I
think of those guys as youngsters, but they're old like Mosley. They're kind of entering their 50s.
We should put you side by side with them, and then have everyone guess the ages. I think that would be good.
They would love it.
I've been close to fanboying, Matt. I think I'm freaking Fourier out a little bit because he's been in the table right next to us all week, and I'm just shooting questions at him. I'm just shooting Belichick questions, McDaniels questions, 03 Patriots questions. So I do need to tone it down a little bit. We just completed an interview with longtime NFL or special teamer Sean Morey, and he is a former Patriot. Also grew up about 2 towns over from where I grew up. So you thought I was freaking out Fourier. I was really freaking out Sean Morey with some of the questions I had about Marshfield, Massachusetts.
Now you're acting like some other people because that interview, I feel like you guys are signing up for a lot of interviews.
Oh yeah.
By the way, the thing you would laugh about is that with Galloway, who I had on Friday, my old cohort in radio, they would send us to like these. They would send us to a place like this, and they'd set us up at Radio Row, and literally we would go all week and maybe have like 2 people on. And I'll never forget one time Ian Fitzsimmons, who used to be on with us, decided he would, without consulting Randy, he would book Jason Whitlock before Jason Whitlock was so controversial. It was when Whitlock was still with Fox or whatever. And I've never seen anybody get cussed out as badly as Ian did for booking Jason Whitlock, who I thought was a fine, interesting interview. But he was very, very angry. And I just think Randy didn't want to. He was just like, you know what? We're going to do our thing. And so we would be out there and we would spend more time talking about like whatever the Rangers were up to or whatever the Mavericks were doing than
NBA trade deadline. Yeah.
NBA trade. Yeah. I remember being out there at Radio Row for when signing day, it wasn't the early signing day. It was when February 3rd or whatever was still the big day. And I remember spending like a whole show doing signing day stuff. Okay. What's like the biggest, like I know Joe Montana and others have been kind of milling around there. Is there anybody, I asked Nick Harris this yesterday, is there any movie star or comedian or any superstar that you kind of had like a, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm standing near this person? Have you had one of those moments?
Not yet, Mosley, because it's been athletes. Like I've had that for the athletes that have come by. Talked to Warren Moon. He was just by a little while ago. I got to see Teddy Bruschi yesterday. For me, that's a huge deal. Took a picture with Malcolm Butler today as well. So we've had some big time athletes, but none of the like off the field celebrities yet, Matt. Bad Bunny is here because he's doing the halftime show. So he's doing a press conference upstairs, but we have had athletes coming through big time around our area. We're talking Gronk, T.O. probably had the biggest posse we've seen so far. He had about 6 or 8 handlers with him, making sure he got from place to place. Mad Dog Russo was by. That was a Pete Souza favorite. And I got to say, when we get to Radio Row, it is a who's who of friends of the Matt Mosley Show and the Matt Mosley Experience. I mean, we've seen Calvin Watkins. We saw Izzy Gutierrez. We had a nice conversation. Pete and I had a nice conversation with Clarence Hill yesterday. So you drop the Mosley name around here, and it is a golden ticket.
I don't know about, I haven't talked to Izzy in a long time. I don't think that sounds like an odd thing to bring up, but very interesting. And I'm glad you guys.
This is good for you, Matt, because we're going to drop this today. Everson Walls on the Pete Souza Show yesterday.
Love him. Have known him forever. And I remember I ran into him. It
hurts him to be in San Francisco. Hurts him to be here.
I bet.
Bad memories.
Ask about that all the time. Yeah. You think people are kind of upset? I mean, I think a main thing is like, why didn't y'all bring Mosley? I'm still trying to kind of figure out how that happened, but the guy who's been out there the most would be left behind. That is being right now. There are meetings at Rogue, and they're discussing that and trying to get past that. Okay, Cam, let me ask you this: how big a deal is that? Like, I've seen a headline on ESPN about like Tom Brady being asked. You pull in for the, like you would think he would. He's got a statue. He's won 6 Super Bowls with the Patriots, and he had that comment, "I don't have a dog in this fight." Now, that's been met with a lot of ex-teammates of his calling BS on him. Most of them probably laughed about it. Maybe a couple of them thought, "I cannot believe Tom's acting like that." How do you? But I actually, there were people from the Boston radio who were trying to kind of explain that, kind of like it was a little bit like Larry Bird. Once he was done with Boston, he was really done, and he doesn't come back and all that kind of stuff. How are you interpreting those comments from Tom Brady?
So I do see that kind of, I guess, more cynical part of it of like, he's not a Boston guy, and that's okay. He's always going to be a legend here, but Larry Bird is the great example of that. And where we're spoiled in Boston is we do have a lot of those guys that stick around. David Ortiz still lives there. Bobby Orr has lived there for 50 years after the end of his career. And, when it's David Ortiz is on the desk show for Fox postseason baseball, and there's no question who he's rooting for, right? And these Patriots, most of them, there's no question. Vince Wilfork was the one on EEI yesterday, and he had a great point. He's like, Tom, it's not politics. You could say you're rooting for the Patriots. You played 20 years here. And the other side of it, too, is, man, we got stuff going on. I'm going to need to shift around. The other thing, too, is he is one of the owners with the Raiders, and the Raiders are about to hire the Seahawks offensive coordinator as their head coach. So I guess maybe he is trying to politic it a little bit, beat around the bush a little bit. But was anyone going to think any differently of him if he said, "Oh, come on, I played for the Patriots for 20 years. I want them to win"? I don't think so. So it was a little weird. I get the Kubiak angle of it, but it's like, come on, man. Can you just throw us a bone a little bit?
Yeah. I think that is kind of weird. Look, you did kind of go to a quieter area. I appreciate that.
Oh,
now, this is going to be quite a set that you put together, and you said a 3-mic set. I would do a 4-mic set. And you got to plant yourself right in the middle of that interview. While I have you though, did you get to watch the Bears versus the Buffs and do a Locked On response last night, or have you kind of abandoned the Bears in your time out in San Francisco?
Well, abandoned's a strong word. I did not do a reaction last night. We had a long day, but Pete and I were watching it. So I was sitting there with one of the foremost experts on Big 12 basketball, watching that, and then turning over to Oklahoma State and BYU, and the craziness in that game. Boy, is BYU on a skid. But Baylor looked damn impressive last night. Dare I say the most impressive they've looked all season, maybe outside of Arlington Baptist. So we obviously got that big collision course Tuesday, Rob Wright's return, right? So we'll be, the Locked On Show will be like full steam ahead with some Baylor basketball at the beginning of the week, but we will have some talk on the show tomorrow.
Boy, I bet Pete really likes to kind of critique those announcers.
Oh yeah. Oh man, he was scathing him. He was just dragging him over the coals. It was too much. It was too much.
Who was that guy? Okay, we're familiar with the main play-by-play because he does a lot of stuff. Who was the color analyst last night? Oh, McConnell or something like that. McDonald. Yeah. He's an okay guy. I don't really know what his story is, but he seems to be into it. So, I don't know what was going on there. Colorado looked really bad. So the Bears took full advantage of that. Okay. I'm going to let you kind of get set up. Does the last thing, did you go to the media party, or have you tried to take part? Did you run over to the Pro Bowl scene? What's been like the coolest thing you've done in town other than like go to the bar or something with Pete? Well, he's not the greatest guy to go to a bar with. Yeah.
Not that.
Sorry.
Matt,
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't really done anything. We're going to go see some things today in the city. I've barely seen the city in daylight. We've been in before the dawn until after dusk. And then working in the hotel afterwards. We have really been pedal to the metal. But today I'm going to see some things. Probably go down to the wharf today. I did last weekend watch Vertigo. Gave that a rewatch just to get in the spirit of things.
That wharf, there's one kind of area. There's a great restaurant, but there's that pretty where you have the view of one of those bridges. I don't know if it's Golden Gate or the other one.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that wharf there. You need to go because there's a great restaurant there, and it's just a really neat area. And it's called Pier. The last time I was out there for the Super Bowl, we went to this place, like Pier something, Pier 51 or Pier. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Now there's the old famous pier where you can go and get some seafood or get you some clam chowder. Although, boy, a guy like
some
you
chicken tenders.
You're going to be a major clam chowder snob because of where you're from, now that I think about it, because you like the chowder and all that kind of stuff. All right. Well, great to visit with you. Best of luck the rest of the way. And do you have a pick? This is the last time I'll talk to you probably before the Super Bowl. Are you what's the line, by the way? What's the line now?
I think it's still 4.5. I think it's still Seahawks minus 4.5.
Okay. Now pick against the line and then pick with your heart. Give me the brain pick, and then you can let me know. I know who you're pulling for.
Well, being here and in it around the foremost minds that cover this league, I'm starting to smell something, Matt. I'm starting to smell an upset in Super Bowl 60. I think the Patriots are going to keep this fairly low scoring. It's going to be the best weather that Drake May has played in all postseason. He's going to really cut it loose. And I'm taking the Pats in a close one. 24-20.
Wow. So they don't quite. Okay, so yeah, they obviously, so Seattle doesn't cover and Seattle loses. All right, I just will say this, and I know the weather and other things, and maybe his shoulders hurt and everything, but Lord knows that Drake May, other than what he's doing with his legs, this postseason has not been good. That said, let's not act like Darnold. It has like just enormous, huge experience in moments like this, right? He was great in the NFC title game, but I don't think you can look at either one of these quarterbacks and go, I'm locked down. I know they're going to be great. I don't think you can say that about either one of these quarterbacks.
I don't think you can. With obviously with May with the shoulder stuff too. You make a good point there. And I hate doing this for like a single game projection kind of thing, but it does feel like Sam Darnold's due for a stinker. This is the guy who led the league in turnovers this year, and he did play the game of his life against the Rams a couple weekends ago, and didn't have to do too much for them to just beat the brakes off of San Francisco. So I hate doing that for one game. I'll do that for a postseason run or a March Madness thing, but I think he is due for a bit of a stinker. And the way the Patriots have brought pressure in this postseason, and I would argue the interior of their defensive line versus the interior of the Seahawks offensive line is the biggest advantage they have in this game. So they're going to make it difficult. They do. Seattle probably is the best receiver in the league. That'll be an interesting matchup if it's going to be Christian Gonzalez on JSN. But you're right. It's a weird kind of quarterback matchup in this one. If this was 6 weeks ago and we told you it was going to be this, you'd say, no doubt, Patriots have the advantage at quarterback. But it's up in the air. I think Darnold's the odds-on favorite to win the MVP. Super Bowl MVP.
All right. I know you need to set up, but one quick thing. Celtics, big Vooch. Vooch coming to Boston. I'm sure you've seen that, and initial thoughts on that.
Honestly, the end-all be-all of it for me is they're a good team that got better and saved money. So you can't get much better than that.
Okay.
Matt, say hi to Liam Cohen behind me, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars and proud UMass alum.
Liam.
I do think it's a good deal. He's not much of a rim protector. There was talks of our guy Eve potentially being in a trade package for the Celtics. Big fan of Locked On Baylor, Eve Meese. So he's not much of a rim protector. He's not this, lock it down defender, but he can rebound like heck, and he can still score the basketball even at his age. You move Anthony Simons off the books, which we thought was probably going to be the case anyway when they traded for him. So they got better. And I think that's got to scare the rest of the Eastern Conference.
Wow. I mean, Vooch, that is interesting. And by the way, seeing Liam reminded me, I used to go to these things with Kalishaw occasionally and it was so funny to watch because of that Around the Horn show that people were so into that like we would be sitting over at the table, and Tim was the worst at, Tim, go ask somebody to come on. And he wouldn't even get up to go do it. I'm like, just get up and go ask that guy to come on. And like, we would be sitting there and John Harbaugh, a year removed from winning the Super Bowl, would just wander over in New York and just be like, Tim, I've always wanted to say hi to you. I've always wanted to meet you. And it was quite a scene to be a part of that.
It wouldn't even bring him on. It's unbelievable.
No, I don't think we had time. It's like, no, we got NBA trend. Pete.
He can't hear you. He can't hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the last time I had him on was the same situation, by the way. We had audio issues. Hey, thank you, Cam. You'll get set up there. Okay, right, I'll be watching, okay? You. All right, all my best. Cam Stuart. And that Kevin, that appearance from Pete was about he was kind of sending a message to young Cam. We need to get this thing set up. You need to get
That's more like Pete's appearance here is the most that I've seen Cam this week, and he's our regular sports guy on my other show.
Sorry. He is extremely loyal.
He's been working dusk to dawn, except not for my other show.
That's okay, buddy. It's sad, but he's always going to stop down for the Mosley Show. So it's good to have him, and good to see, as we were talking to him live, an NFL head coach walk behind him. You could see Liam Cohen walking by. That was kind of cool. I mean, Kev, that's a huge trade that we haven't even talked about. I mean, I'm just sitting here. I mean, Vooch to the Celtics. My gosh. I mean, that's an actual player that's going there. And very, very interesting. Something that we will react to. And then we got Campus Confidential coming up. Let's take care of Central National Bank and our unbelievable sponsors. And by the way, more on the way. I heard just today people trying to join the Mosley Show. We love it. And Nice segment. Oh, thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Bobby B. Great to hear from you. If you're listening on Twitter and you want to you want to comment, go over and subscribe to our YouTube. That's what Bobby B does. And then he can comment there, and then you can be on our show. And then we put it up almost in real time and react to it. Kev, a reminder, I hope you have a great trivia question, because today is Schmaltz's Trivia Thursday. All of that coming up next.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. And when it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. With the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. Never deposit someone else's money into your bank account. Scammers will send you money or overpay you and then ask you to refund a portion of the money back to them. This is a scam.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. us.muc-off.com.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGoAAALusa.com and elevate your training today.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
Hi, I'm Mitch, the co-founder of Cake, a sexual health and wellness company designed for today and designed for you. Yes, you. The entire product line can be found at hellocake.com, and it's also available in every Walmart near you.
Oh, now back to your regularly scheduled program. And Kev, let's go ahead. I mean, we kind of do it around now. Today we had Cam on a little earlier than we would usually have him. He had a big interview they were setting up for Christian Fourier and Chad Brown, former Patriots and Seahawks greats. Both of them were going to appear on, and they're on a radio show together, I think. But they're going to sit down with Pete and Cam, and so they were going to set up for that. But we were really happy to have Cam on from the Super Bowl, so that was kind of fun. And we had head coaches walking by and all of that. But let's have now a nice Kevin. Don't rush, no rush. And you let me know, Kev, via text or otherwise when you're ready to do the Schmaltz trivia contest. All right.
I'm ready whenever.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We'll do that in 2:00 hour. We want to encourage our folks to keep listening and watching during the hour, because we will give away 2 free sandwiches to Schmaltz's, one of the great sandwich shops in America. I hope, Kevin, Scotty left all the Schmaltz's coupons with you. Do you know? Do you know where those coupons are? Oh, gosh. Great. All right.
I mean, Schmaltz is just around the corner from Rogue. It's Alico. We'll just swing by.
We'll figure it out. But yes, some of our transition team, we could use a little help there.
We have a transition team?
Yeah, we have a transition team in person. We also Mike. I noticed Mike Hamilton's doing something new. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a promotion.
He's doing something more.
Nice.
He's doing something more. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. But I put him in charge, by the way, of getting these new C&B commercials. So I'll be excited to see those. Central National Bank. He's working on that as we speak. I thought he would be a good person, especially with all his new responsibilities. I thought the thing he needs to be doing.
What?
Yeah.
Here's more on your plate.
Well, I think it's part of the way I understand his new gig. To me, this falls under his purview. All right. So
it sort of reminds me of how Peyton Manning would handle press conferences, right? If anything goes right, congratulations to everybody else. If anything goes wrong, it's my fault. No, it's Mike's fault.
Yeah, that's nice that you say that about Peyton. All right. We got a lot happening in college basketball because there's some BYU stuff I want to talk about. There's some Kelvin Sampson stuff we need to get to. And I know you have some audio for us to react to. But since this is Campus Confidential, and since this is your deal, although you're leaving us tomorrow.
I will be on campus. I will be on campus tomorrow.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. That's right. And it's good. It's good. You got your Baylor gig you'll be working on tomorrow, so that's good. But the Z-Man will be stepping in tomorrow. But Campus Confidential. Kev, what do you have for us today?
All right, so Portland upset Gonzaga last night.
Gonzaga.
Okay.
No, it's Gonzaga. They get really upset about it, and so I just want to tell you.
Okay.
I was barked at one time for doing what you did. I don't want to be Mosley the overcorrector, but It is Gonzaga.
That's fine. I yell at people all the time who say Louisville. So
they're very sensitive about it. It's Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
Yeah, it's not that hard once you get it. Gonzaga. Right. Yeah.
Gonzaga. Okay. So Portland upset them. Honestly, it was bound to happen. Gonzaga eked out a win against San Francisco. I've been waiting for Gonzaga and UConn to lose one of these close games against and get upset. So the question is, who will be the next top 10 team to lose to an unranked opponent?
There's a lot of... See, BYU...
I can list out some games for you 16. Coming up.
Yeah, give me a couple. Give me a few.
Tonight, Penn State is at Michigan, if you think that's going to happen.
No, but I got one for you. One just came to mind, and it's happening Saturday. I got a good one for you.
Okay.
I think the Gators are about to run into I think the Florida Gators, are they top 10 now? They are, aren't they?
Florida is 17.
Are you kidding?
No.
They should be top 10.
As of right now.
I thought they were going to run into a buzzsaw in College Station on Saturday. Okay, give me a couple more. I don't like anything involving Penn State, Rutgers, or DePaul. Please never mention those teams again.
Okay, sounds good. I won't mention Rutgers and Nebraska on Saturday. Let's see. Baylor, Iowa State. Is that going to happen?
Nope. Keep going. Sorry.
Got to
keep it real.
Yeah, I totally understand. We got Oregon State hosting Gonzaga.
No, because Gonzaga will be mad. Yeah.
Yep. Oklahoma State is at Arizona.
Nope.
And then Sunday, Michigan has to go to Ohio State.
That's a little tricky. But I think they'll be okay. So basically, I don't think it's going to happen.
Nope. Wisconsin at Illinois next Tuesday.
No. Illinois is dang good, man.
Houston
did you see
going
what they
to
did
Utah.
to Northwestern? Utah's horrible. Did you see what? Man, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought up Illinois. I just happened to kind of just took a quick peek or something, and it was like, I think the game was still going, and it was 70-34 or something horrible like that. What an embarrassment. I guess they're going to have to fire that guy. He's one of Coach K's old buddies, Chris Collins, who played for Coach K. I guess Northwestern will have to fire him because they're getting obliterated. That's bad. That's bad. Illinois is good, but and I saw at the end of the half. By the way,
Illinois Michigan State is on Saturday, so that'll be a good one at Izzo's place.
Michigan State coming off a tough loss. They're angry. Izzo's mad. Oh, I thought you would bring that one up because did you see that Michigan State player? Like what he was doing during that game?
No.
You need to go back. Do they have somebody named like Jeremiah Fears?
Uh-huh.
Does that sound right?
He's their star point guard, yeah.
All right. So he's got some trying to think of who he reminds me of. There was a guy at Duke that then took that to the NBA and was a real punk. Let me use an easier parallel or a comparison would be Draymond Green, because Draymond Green played at Michigan State.
Stackhouse.
No. I'm going to stick with Draymond Green. Stackhouse was fun. I mean, I don't remember him being that big of a punk. But Fears, I really don't. Not like this. Fears was doing some stuff where he was.
I remember the Malice at the Palace, so But
I don't put that on Stackhouse. I put that more on Ron Artest than I would Stackhouse. The Malice at the Palace? My gosh. Okay, let's not get into that. I can tell you probably have a million thoughts on the Malice at the Palace. That's let's not get bogged down into that. This Fears kid is doing that stuff where like who played at Duke named Grayson several years ago. He's been in the NBA for a while, and his name is Grayson anyway.
Allen?
Yes. This Fears guy is doing the thing where he'll be down on the ground, and there's a little bit of a pile up, and then he'll like kick his leg up during a play to hit the other guy in the crotch. Like stuff that not basketball plays.
Yeah.
And I liked watching Izzo last night because Izzo was trying to say this or that. And somebody says, well, Tom, it did look like he did it on purpose. And Izzo was like, well, then he should get what's coming to him. Then it's right. And I thought that was interesting because most coaches will kind of whine around and try to defend their guy. And Izzo, when he found out that it was probably a bad play by his guy, owned it. He didn't completely abandon this guy, but that player is a good player. But that player is doing way too much extracurricular, and again, Draymond comes to mind big time. So that's an interesting thing, Kevin. You'll want to go back and watch some of those plays from that game because Fears seems to be an extracurricular type guy.
I would agree. Hoosiers have already played him this year, so I completely understand that. All right. Chambliss was denied a 6th year by the NCAA. Is this good? Does this set a good precedent moving forward that you can't just play college football for an eternity? Or do you think he should get an extra year because he injured redshirt? That was kind of the reasoning.
Yeah, I need to remind myself, like, how long was he at Ferris State? Was he at a JUCO or something before that? Or was he at Ferris State for a few years, then came to Ole Miss? When did the red shirt happen, and where did it happen? I need to have all my Trinidad Chambliss. The way we do campus is I don't even like to know generally Kevin, because I like to react to these things in real time and respond. And usually I know
4
exactly
seasons.
what he's talking about. But
4
in this
seasons
case,
at Ferris State, 21 to 24. And then
but Ferris State's not considered a JUCO.
Division II.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. JUCO, you can get a deal. Well, what'll happen is now maybe the NCAA.
I think the issue was it was an additional medical redshirt year.
What's weird to me is how can some of these guys, like the guy at Utah, the long-haired guy at Utah, the quarterback from a few years ago, seemingly, now part of that is because there was a COVID year, and we're finally enough from the COVID year that people aren't getting COVID years anymore. But that some of these people will play for like 7 or 8 seasons. So I don't really understand.
Like the linebacker from Miami.
Why we're digging in so hard on Chambliss here. I agree that there needs to be something done. I don't know if it needs to be Chambliss. What Ole Miss will do now is get a judge involved. And much like Alabama did, they'll hope he's an Ole Miss grad. But they'll try to get like a temporary injunction in place, and then they'll get a hearing. And I think the next step, Kev, is a hearing that he'll get in front of a judge.
But this can't go on too long, because if he's not coming back to school, he's going to go to the draft. And then what does that do to the quarterbacks in the draft, do you think? Anything really? Or does he just slot in somewhere in the 3rd, 4th round?
Oh, Trinidad Chambliss can be first rounder. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's better than right now I like him more than Dante. Absolutely. The way he can move, everything he can do.
Dante's not going to be there.
I know.
Dante's coming back.
And Dante's draft status, though, we thought of him, and we think of him next year as like whenever he's in the draft, we think of him as a surefire first-round pick. I'm saying, from what I just watched in the college football playoff and throughout much of the season, I prefer Trinidad Chambliss to Dante if I was an NFL team. So, again, I'll repeat what I said to you. First round. Yeah, he's in the first round. Comes out. So he's fine either way. He's fine either way. But I know he wants to stay in college, and I think they would love to have him back. I mean, the thing that scares the dog out of you is, what if they come sniffing? Or what if he is forced to go pro? Are we sure Ole Miss won't come after DJ Lagway? I've worried. I mean, I have never stopped worrying about DJ Lagway, although I think he has signed I think he signed his deal. So we'd have to look at buyouts and all that kind of stuff. But if you think that the SEC wouldn't come after trying to get DJ Lagway, you haven't met Pete. What's his name? Pete Golding. I mean, this is the tampering leader of America. All right. But I think okay, Baylor fans, I'm mostly kidding. And I believe that DJ Lagway will suit up for the Baylor Bears. All right. And I think he'll be there. In fact, I shouldn't say anything like that, Kev, because I'm trying to get DJ on with us right now.
Okay.
I'm trying to get DJ Lagway on the program. In fact, I said I'm going to try to get him on tomorrow when you're not on. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Kev, what do you have for us, sir? What else?
Speaking of tampering leaders, Sampson is at it again. Here we go.
We have a very poor athletic department. We're poor. We're poor when I got here, and we're still poor. We probably have the lowest budget of anybody in Power 4. And the way our recruiting is going, we have to stop at some point because we don't have enough money to keep bringing in really good players. And that's not easy for us to do. People ask about recruiting. Teams that have the best recruiting classes usually have the most money. That's the way it is today. We signed.
Uh-oh, Kev. We got a frozen video there. Oh, Kev, have you frozen as well? Oh, gosh. All right. We've frozen back on it looks like I'm the only one still in service here. Hopefully everybody can hear me right now. I don't know. Kev, you and Coach Sampson have frozen. So you let me know. You let me know how things are going via text. Make sure I'm still rolling here. But you and Coach have frozen together. Coach Sampson. And Kevin was talking about Kelvin Sampson there. Boy, he threw it right into it. That's the University of Houston's coach. For those of you who don't know, Kelvin Sampson, one of the great coaches in college basketball, and saying that the athletic department at Houston is extremely poor. I could have fooled me. They just had like a really good portal class in football. I thought they outperformed. Okay, Kev.
I'm glad you went for it.
Yeah, I just decided to keep talking because I was still fine. I didn't know if people were hearing me or not. But we won't go back to Kelvin for whatever reason.
I find it obviously my university was a benefactor of the great irony within this statement. To me, is he talks about his poor program now when he was responsible for and couple that with his statement at the end where he was talking about how it's funny because it used to be illegal and now they call it NIL because now it's legal, when he was responsible for two different programs being suffering penalties because of what he was doing, this very thing, and now he thinks it's unfair because he doesn't have the backing to do the things that he was doing illegally to begin with.
All right. For people that don't know, Kevin, we can't just assume on a daily basis that all our audience knows where you went to school. So I'll remind everybody, although we do talk about it a lot for our regulars. Kevin, you're freezing up a ton. And so I don't know why that is, but I don't know if you need to reset your Wi-Fi or something, but you've now frozen up again and you look very interesting on the screen there. But Kevin went to Indiana, where Kelvin Sampson used to coach, and Kelvin did get into some trouble there. Now that everything is legal for the most part, it looks pretty minor, whatever he was up to back in the day, which seemingly were like illegal text or calls or making calls when you weren't supposed to be making phone calls, whatever. Kelvin certainly did get himself in trouble in the past. Kelvin has gotten past that and is now regarded, honestly, as one of the best college basketball coaches of all time. And the job he's done at Houston over that period of time, other than maybe what Scott Drew's done at Baylor, what Mark Few's done over at Gonzaga over the past 20, 25 years, there are only a few people, obviously Coach K and Roy and all those kinds of people, but we're talking about people that did these things at places that hadn't won in a long time. University of Houston had been in the wilderness forever. Mack Rhodes, Baylor's old athletic director, hired Kelvin, and Kelvin turned that program around. But what I don't want to hear is, oh my gosh, we're so poor. I mean, we don't even know if we may have to stop on this latest recruiting class. I mean, they have 2 one-and-dones on this team. The 7-foot Sanak is a flat-out one-and-done type player. He hasn't had like just this, he's not putting up incredible numbers this year, but he can block shots. He can rim run. He could end up being he's exactly what the NBA needs. And then Parker Fleming's the guard. I know Darren Peterson and DeBonch are getting most of the attention, but Parker Flemings is having an unbelievable season as a freshman point guard for University of Houston. And in fact, Jamal Shedd was great. Quentin Grimes was great. They've had awesome players. Sasser. Again, it just goes on and on. Jarris Walker was great. The guy from last year, their big man. Great, tremendous players. University of Houston. I don't know that they've had one in the Sampson era that has the ceiling that this kid has, Parker Flemings. He's unbelievable. He has the opportunity to be the best University of Houston player in the NBA since the days of Phi Slama Jama. And obviously Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon went on to be NBA Hall of Famers. And before that, it was Otis Birdsong, and it was the Big E, it was Elvin. It was all those guys, okay? But nobody wants to hear how, I think Kelvin is fascinating. I love listening to him. But the part where I agree with Kevin is, come on, man. Come on. People don't want to hear about like how poor University of Houston is when they are now one of the greatest programs in the country, and they are a perennial top 5 team. All right. This is a team that could go back to the Final Four, and they could absolutely win a national title. You are not poor. I mean, and as he said, they're paying market rate to Emmanuel Sharp. I mean, do you think that Uzan came back this season because they didn't give him any money? My gosh, Uzan is back playing guard for U of H this year, and I guarantee you he's making $1 million. There's no way he's not. Otherwise, he would have stayed in the NBA draft or gone and transferred somewhere else where they would have paid him a ton of money. Yeah, my gosh, Baylor. I would like with all. I mean, if Baylor had it to do all over again, and they could have had Uzan or Uzan from U of H or Cadeau from Michigan, or there's a point guard from Wisconsin that's really good. Like, if they had known what they found out about Rob Wright, they would have gone after one of those guys. I mean, you think this team would not have paid $1.5 million for Uzan over what they've gotten from the young from Mikey Ratai? Come on, man. Come on, in a heartbeat. Uzan with Tunde and Cameron Carr right now. Woo! And maybe put some Skillings and Obi Agbum around them and some shot makers and some people and Caden Powell and some others. Whoa, man. Do it in a heartbeat. I mean, again, Mikey Ratai seems like an incredible young man. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. He just can't play. He's just not what they thought he was going to be. He's not a three-point shooter. He's not a scorer. He's not quick. He at least tries on the defensive end. It was a whiff. And in the end, Kev, the Baylor Bears are going to have to make some major changes to how it's not just, Baylor needs more money. They have to fuel with that money a new system of how they evaluate. And if that means personnel has to change, they have a GM. The guy's name is, I believe, Jason Smith. Seems like a great guy. But if you whiff 2 years running, Roach was an enormous whiff. Then the next season, huge whiff on Ratai. And to a lesser extent, Agbim and others. All right. I mean, let's not act like Skillings is setting the world on fire. If you are not putting the right teams together and you've had 2 years of whiffing, and I'm talking big money on people, you're going to have to make changes. So again, I hope there's a place in the program for somebody like that, because I like the guy. I mean, I don't know him really. I just say it like what I've always heard about him. But the Bears have to make changes at how they evaluate personnel. I mean, it can't. If you try to run it back with the same way you've done it over the last 2 seasons, and if the answer is, well, Rob left us, and then we had these bad season-ending injuries, and oh man, we had this ACL, and that's the wrong answer. If you start saying that, you can't focus on that. Okay, injuries and that kind of stuff happen. You have whiffed in a huge way in NIL, and that thing has to end. Now, does that mean that Texas Tech and BYU and everybody else, do they never whiff? No, they do. But like right now, it seems like Texas Tech hits on their big dogs, their big money. You cannot whiff where your big money goes. They brought in the kid from UNC Greensboro, I think it is, Atwell, hit. They brought in the kid right this year. I'm just trying to think of their 2 starters. I'm forgetting one of their players. Petty and Anderson were both homegrown. Those are both high school kids that came up through the Tech program. And Lawan Watts is who I'm trying to think of. Lawan Watts, they paid good money to. Now, I'm not saying he's been great, but he's good. He's a tough dude. He can finish in the paint. He can slip outside and shoot threes. So I'm just saying Tech will miss occasionally, but they don't miss on the big money guys. They really don't. Interestingly, by the way, A&M has hit on a lot of these guys this year. They paid pretty good money for Federico from Tech. Pretty nice shot blocking, rim running big guy. Federico doesn't do really anything for A&M. So they kind of missed on him, but they hit on all these players. The Spanish sniper, Rylan Griffin, who's on his third team. Agee, who's on his third team and was just kind of okay at the previous spots. They just hit. They got some little mini-mite point guard. So again, what you can't do at Baylor is go, well, we just had this catastrophic season and we lost everybody and we had to start over and nobody could pull this off. A&M did. Now you say, well, Matt, A&M has way more NIL money. Maybe. That might be true. Is it way more? I don't know. Does Houston have way more NIL money than Baylor? Maybe. But here you have Kelvin claiming that he's poor, claiming that the program is poor. All right, Kev. That was, I was able to launch into some other things.
That's
there.
Great. I have another follow-up question based on that because you brought it up. Right. I asked you this last night via text, so I want to give you a chance to explore this a little bit here. How much do you think, if at all, Dan Skilling's being out contributed to a huge point total from Yesufu and the first Baylor win at home this season?
Very little. Very little. Yeah. The issue this year has been more on Ratai. Skillings does some things that are maddening. He has not scored enough. He's not as good as I thought he would be from three-point range. I don't know that he always defends, but if I'm saying who's the bigger issue in this program, Ratai and missing on Ratai is way more than Skillings, because while they spent fine money on Skillings, the money Ratai received was way more than Skillings. So Skillings maybe not living up to potential is not quite as big. It's just not as big of a deal. So I think it's kind of I think it's a coincidence is what I'm saying. I think they played great.
Less on money, more on schematically. I think that there's a potential that just from what I've seen, what I've watched, that Skillings and Yesufu kind of clog each other's styles up. They have a similar kind of style. Yesufu probably being better at it, but Skillings kind of drive, that shoot, they have a similar style, and so you have one of them out, it frees Yesufu up. That, from my question, is more from a schematic basketball standpoint.
That what you just said makes a little more sense to me. All I would say is what they my answer to that would be, you need Skillings to be what you thought he was going to be. And it speaks to what you just said. You need him to be a spacer. And when we talk about the NBA, and we'll talk more here coming up at the NBA trade deadline, you need somebody like Skillings to be able to do what Jalen Bridges was able to do in his final year with the Bears, and that is knock down threes. That alone would open up room for Tunde drives.
Right.
All right.
So
Same for Cam.
I wonder
if
it's
Cam needs to be able to drive too. You don't have enough spacing.
Right. Yeah.
You have a guard in Omar Agbum who can't, sir, get control of that seed. You have a guard in Agbum who can't penetrate. Now, what he can do, we spend a lot of time concentrating on what these guys can't do. What he can do from time to time is knock down shots. And so it's beautiful to see that dude knocking down threes. But we have to admit what he's not. He's not quick enough to penetrate and then pass the ball back out. Now, they do have a guy that can do that. It's Isaac Williams. Now, Isaac will drive you nuts on some other things. Doesn't take care of the ball. Turns the ball over too much. Maybe gets himself in trouble because he relies too much on his athleticism. But he's a good player, like if used in proper spots. The problem is Baylor's got such a lack of depth that a guy like that will get exposed if you leave him in there for 30 minutes. If you can play Isaac Williams for like 16 to 18 minutes, perfect. Isaac Williams is a dang find for this team. Here's what's happened is you had hoped J.J. White was going to be a nice, maybe even help you, and maybe at one point it was even dreamed that he could be a starter. It didn't happen. Then he got hurt, but even before he got hurt, he wasn't giving you that much. Apparently he has an incredible attitude, and I'm all for that, but he wasn't giving you that much as a player. Isaac, let me tell you who's exceeded expectations. Kev will do kind of exceeded and hasn't lived up to it. Caden Powell, the 5, the center, has exceeded expectations. Skillings has not met expectations. Ratai has not met expectations. Cam Carr exceeded. Tunde has been about what you had hoped for. Probably not quite met, but it's not totally his fault. It's about things you're talking about, Kevin. It's about not having enough people spacing things out and not having better teammates so that he can go be great. All right. He probably has a little too much on his plate, and he's not a ball handler at this point. He's not really a great shooter. And so there's too much that he's having to try to do on his own. And then the things are so clogged because you don't have a point guard that can go make it easier on his teammates that Cam Carr has to try to get himself open and then sink a shot from 24, 25 feet. Is he capable of hitting that shot? You bet. But too many games, he has to force that against good teams. I mean, Kevin, I dare say, given how this team is constructed, I will be very surprised if they beat a good team this year. I mean, they didn't even beat TCU. They got swept by TCU, and I don't even really consider TCU. They're an okay team. They're not a good team. I think West Virginia is by far the best win of the season. It was on the road, and West Virginia is not awful. They're not great. They're not awful. I'm afraid, Kev, that will end up being the best win of the season.
See, I
don't see them winning. I don't see them beating BYU Tuesday night, although I'll be there, and I got my seat, and my daughter's driving in from College Station, and I'm very excited about that game. But I don't see, Kevin, a game on the schedule. I don't see them. I don't see a good team that they can beat. They can't beat Iowa State on the road. They can't beat Houston there. They certainly can't beat Tech there. I can't think of a good team they can beat. They can't beat Arizona. I don't consider Arizona.
Recency going, okay, they finally decided to actually play some really good quality defense 2 games prior. And then now I think this Skillings out presents an opportunity to maybe instead of bring Skillings in as a rotation off the bench as a 6-man rather than starting. And then
who did they start the other night? I'm just trying to think because I felt like didn't Ratai still come off the bench even with Skillings out? Did they start Isaac? Maybe they started Isaac. I think they brought Najee and Ratai off the bench. That's one more thing that on the Twitter, Kevin, on the Baylor's Twitter, they'll have the starting lineup. I guess that's what they did. They put Isaac as a starter. I think that's fine if they did. I like that. Okay,
that's correct. Yep.
And they brought Ratai and Najee off the bench. I'm with you on that. Although, Kevin, this is what's crazy. I mean, I hear what you're saying about Skillings. I think it's a knee-jerk thing.
Not is he bad? He's not bad. It just I
know.
feel like
I know. But here's my counter to that. With Skillings in the lineup, and I take Ratai off the floor, Skillings and those other dudes, and I'll have to look exactly what the lineup looks like. But there's something the other day that I saw, 7th most efficient lineup in the country. And that includes Skillings on the floor. So I think we got to be a little careful about immediately going, well, he was out, so they performed better. Not that there's not something to that the other night. I'm just saying, I don't think you would want to make a season-long decision based on what happened the other night. Now, that said, I think the BYU game Tuesday is their best shot.
Yep.
I hate that BYU got beat by Oklahoma State because I think it only angers them, and they've got somebody good coming in there. Let's see. I think they host Houston Saturday. Does that sound right to you? They've got a big game Saturday, and then they got to come on the road and play the Bears Tuesday. I will say Baylor's best chance of beating a good team is Tuesday night in Waco by a long shot. And if they could get to their 3-7, if they could get to 4-8, I mean, just think of where this thing was headed. They were 1-7. 4-8 is at least kind of, and again, then you can go beat the Arizona States of the world. You beat the Utah Utes of the world.
Kansas State.
You got a shot against UCF. I think UCF, you get them at your place. And you got Kansas State.
At UCF.
Okay, but where's that Kansas State game?
Kansas State is at Kansas State. You got Louisville at home too. So there's
Louisville's
I would look at this and say, if you can beat BYU and you could squeak it out at Louisville at home,
but Louisville's not at home.
Kansas State.
Is what I'm telling you. You got to listen.
Yeah, it is. Oh, no. It's right. It's neutral.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you would like to think that you could dominate at Dickies, and have a nice Baylor crowd there. But the unfortunate thing is the kind of season they're having. I don't think Baylor people are going to take over the Dickies arena.
Right.
We'll have a
little empty last night
there. Oh, who was in there?
No, I meant Foster was.
I'm sorry.
Lacking last night.
I thought you were talking about Dickies for a second. I got you. Yeah, it was okay. They were okay. I would say Baylor fans, based on how bad the season's been, have hung in there, and I was really proud of them on that TCU game for sure.
All right, Baylor women's program won, so you had two programs winning in the same night. So the question then is, this is a big night for women's basketball. So I have a women's basketball lineup for you. You got to pick the winners, all ranked on ranked matchups. Okay, you ready?
Okay, yeah.
17 Duke at number 6 Louisville. All right. Number 7 Vandy at 16 Kentucky.
Vandy.
All right. 13 Ole Miss at 21 Alabama.
I think Bama wins that one.
Okay. First underdog. Number 9 Ohio State at 24th ranked Washington. Okay. And the last one. This is the tight one. Number 5 LSU.
Wait, who did you say? Did you say Iowa or Iowa State?
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Oh, I'm so sorry. Ohio State. No, give me Ohio State. Give me Ohio State.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then number 5 versus number 4 in the country, LSU at Texas.
Ooh. Thursday night. What is that one on? Is that big ESPN?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll have to check that out. That's one you want to keep your eye on. I think Vic had those tough road games that he was really whining about, and he thought the SEC stuck it to him. Kim had a lot of success against University of Texas and even Vic.
It's on Big ESPN.
This one right here is a fascinating one. I mean, I like both these teams. Give me the Tigers. Give me the Tigers to take down the Longhorns on the road. I still don't know if Moody. They don't support we used to call them the Lady Longhorns. I don't know what they're called now. They don't support them like LSU supports Kim's team at Texas. Moody is not as tough a place to play as LSU is. Give me the Tigers on the road.
All right. There you go. That's Campus Confidential right there.
That's campus. That's a strong one, even with Kevin doing the freeze a couple of times. I don't know, Kevin. I gotta look into that. I'm gonna send some people over to Kevin's house. I'm gonna send my AT&T people over there. See if we can get them taken care of. All right, Kevin, I'm glad we hadn't had any more of those close-ups. That kind of scared me yesterday or 2 days ago when the camera just came. That's the last thing I need is too many close-ups. It's the Mosley Show. Man, what a day it has been. And it is 2:22. We're about 30 minutes away from the deadline. And so we're going to get you caught up on everything that's happened in the NBA. And that was a big dang deal. What the Celtics did to get Vucevic, and he's been, gosh, I've watched him over the years. He's been in Chicago, and he's the Bulls just haven't really been able to accomplish much, even though we think they have a great coach. But God, Billy hadn't done much there over the years. A great college coach, but Vucevic, I mean, this was a big deal. We'll look at other deals and react, and I've got a little bit more on the Dallas Mavericks in the aftermath of the Anthony Davis trade. That is next.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we were hoping Coach Collin would bring that championship mindset to do whatever she has to do to take our workplace culture to the next level.
Well, these donuts are pretty good.
Guys, how we doing?
We're good, Coach.
Craig! What are you doing?
What do you mean?
You have to dunk it.
So far, I think our employees are really enjoying it.
Not everything's a basketball thing.
Did you say something, Craig?
No, ma'am.
That's what I thought.
Dude, I think she likes you.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
Save big during the Start Something New sales event at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Waco. Drive a new Ram 1500 Lone Star Crew Cab with $13,000 off or choose 0% financing. Get a new Laramie Crew Cab 4-wheel drive with 3.9% financing for 72 months plus $15,000 off MSRP. Explore in a new Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo starting at $31,990. Happening now at Allen Samuels.
Come by, let's be friends.
Ready for a better kind of primary care?
At Patient First Direct Primary Care, you get unlimited office visits with same-day or next-day availability.
And instead of rushed appointments, we take the time to actually listen.
There are no insurance hassles, just clear, simple care.
You can reach us by phone or text because access shouldn't be complicated. Our practice has expanded to include Medicare-age patients as part of our direct primary care model.
It's a fresh alternative to the traditional insurance or government-driven systems, care that finally puts you first.
For more information, go to patientfirstdirect.com.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Welcome to Market XLS, your all-in-one Excel solution for investors. Designed as an enterprise-grade platform, Market XLS caters to investment managers, secure and efficient investment management and research. Book your free demo.
Experience with the Mosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
mosleymd.com.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mullybox, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your tastes. Mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more.
It is the Mosley Show. Good to be back with you. And we're monitoring in these final hours of the trade deadline, all the things going on. And man, it's there's a lot of interesting things going on. We'll share with you something that Brian Windhorst had to say about Cooper Flagg. He continues to be unbelievable and a generational talent, a guy you build around. And the Mavericks decided, let's get some financial flexibility. Let's get any picks we can, and let's get Anthony Davis. Let's get this huge eyesore out of here. And so that is what has happened. And so, man, this is all of today's things. There's some interesting ones, and we'll talk about it. There's AD. There he is in his Wizards jersey, getting ready for action as he and Trae Young will play together. Trae Young, a man who loves to shoot it, he will pass it. They'll be fine. I mean, there could be moments, if you could ever get them both on the court at the same time, they could be formidable, especially with like Trey Johnson launching it from deep. The former Lake Highlands High School great who went off to the University of Texas and really could be a big-time NBA talent. He's a scoring dude, but again, you hate to see him with a franchise that is constantly being held back by bad decisions, bad ownership. But the Wiz are going to whiz, and the Wiz at least took a shot at being relevant next season. Because if Anthony Davis is healthy and Trae Young is healthy, and again, these are huge ifs, especially with Anthony Davis, they could be interesting. All right? Can we at least give them that? But the Mavericks are far more interesting moving forward with the lottery pick, with a late pick in the first round now, and the great Cooper Flagg just every game. I mean, again, it's crazy how much he has in his arsenal right now. And the thing he does that a lot of young players don't arrive with is he's already a willing and tremendous defender. He's going to block shots. He knows how to, any kind of pick and roll defense. He understands the assignment. He knows what he's supposed to do. Now, again, people will occasionally physically overwhelm him because he's going to try to get switched off on. Sometimes every once he's going to be able to, he's going to have trouble with a 6'10 or 6'11 guy backing him down, or a smaller guy who's much more muscular than he is. But for the most part, he can hold his ground. He can block shots. And quite honestly, that looked like a block shot the other night when Knipple drove in there and they called a foul and the Hornets won that game. What a great thing that's going to be to watch Knipple and Cooper Flagg play out their careers. So now the Mavericks can build around him. Now, I did want, and so we'll play for you this clip from Brian Windhorst, if we can. Here in a minute, we'll play it for you, and he's talking about like the future of the Mavs with Cooper Flagg. And again, it's going to be really cool to think about his future. But before we do that, Kev, let me just say this. I see the Chicago Bulls tweet from about an hour ago. Thank you for everything, Vooch. Nikola Vucevic departs as the number 2 in Bulls franchise history in double-doubles. Okay, because anytime we see what, we're like, wait, what? More than Jordan? More than this? More than that? It's like, no. Double-doubles, all right? Mike had a few, a lot of those over the years, but he had a lot of assists, but back then, by the way, the triple-double was not such a huge thing. Nobody was out seeking triple-doubles like Luka and Harden and Russ and the whole gang, all right? About 5 to 10 years ago, triple-doubles became a huge thing. You go, Matt, triple-doubles have been around since the Big O was doing it. Back then, they didn't care. He did it because he was just a great player. He wasn't trying to, like, oh my gosh, how many triple-doubles can I have this season? Triple-doubles are again, it's great when they do it, and the Joker in Denver does it almost every night. And LeBron has done it. All of that is fine, but it's a little bit of an overrated deal. It's gotten too much attention, I would argue. Vucevic, this one is interesting. Kev, look up how old Vooch is. I would imagine Vooch now is probably 27 or 28 years old. Maybe pushing 30. But, I mean, we're talking about a guy that can shoot threes. He can space the floor. He can score pretty much from anywhere. He is a prolific scorer. So, I mean, him becoming a Celtic and the Celtics not really having to give up that much to get him, my gosh, I mean, it's pretty wild that the Celtics were able to do this. So I would say, oh my gosh, Kevin. Okay, I undershot that one. Vucevic is 35 years old? Oh my gosh. All right. Well, again, he's still very capable and still put up really good numbers with the Bulls. Goodness gracious. I am floored by that. 35 years old, born October 24th, 1990. This year averaging 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. Wow. All right. Well, it only helps him. It doesn't hurt him, and he gets to go to a place where they could actually be somewhat he can help them. And of course, when Tatum is able to come back, that team will go back to being a contender. Now, Kevin, to your team that is of more interest to you, the Clippers trade Zubac, Ivica Zubac to the Pacers. The Indiana Pacers get Zubac from the Clippers in exchange for Benedict Mathurin and Isaiah Jackson, 2 first-round picks and 1 second-round pick. Sources told ESPN Shams. And again, that sounds like a lot to give up, but especially for a guy like Zubac, but it gives them a legitimate new starting center. He's not as old as the guy I was just talking about. The Pacers are 13-38, one of the worst in the NBA, but the move to acquire Zubac could benefit the team in the future. Now, that is true. Now, this guy is more the age I was trying to make Vooch out to be. This guy turns 29 next month, averaging 14 points and 11 rebounds, 61% shooting this season. He is a hellacious rebounder, offensive rebounder. He is one of the better. I mean, I'm just telling you, the guy will rebound for you. Under contract through 27-28, and will provide a new pick and roll partner when Pacers star Tyrese Halliburton returns next season from a torn Achilles. Indiana also received third-year guard Kobe Brown. Don't know anything about him, don't care. I will say, Kev, the only downside to this is Mathurin could flat out score.
No.
I'm sure he was I'm sure there are things that you'll tell me that maybe he was hurt a lot, whatever. Mathurin showed up in a lot of ways. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Mathurin show up in a pretty big way in the finals? Wasn't he having some pretty good games?
He had one game.
I think in the postseason, he had one game where he scored like 28 or 30 or something like that.
So here's the thing.
I like Mathurin.
From a Pacers perspective,
he's always been a scorer for you guys since he got there.
Right. Mathurin is what you would consider to be a prototypical NBA one-on-one clear-out player. But that is not the style that Carlisle and these Pacers play. They play a share the ball kind of situation. So if you need a player to win one-on-one, which you need at times, Mathurin has done that and can do that. But in the greater Pacers scheme, Mathurin was not the player to fit within the scheme. And so I think this was just as much about offloading Mathurin as it was picking anyone up. Now, from my perspective, I would have rather draft capital. We've been talking about that for a few weeks on our podcast, but this is great too. You need power on the inside. You don't need more guards, but now you relinquish a guard, and now now you become a player with this guard heavy draft, as you've mentioned.
Wow. I mean, again, I like guys who put up a lot of points, but I hear what you're saying. From a draft capital standpoint, Kev, giving up 2 first-rounders. Now, again, what have you looked to see what year those are and whose picks those are and everything? You need to do that because you are the Pacers guru, and you'll be talking about this on your Pacers stuff, but you need to take a peek at when those picks what those are, because on the surface, you're kind of like, gosh, dang, man, they got more for Zubac than the Mavericks got for AD. And you go, well, Matt, he's a little bit younger, but he's not Anthony Davis. He's not the kind of scorer Anthony Davis and defender that Anthony Davis is, for goodness sakes. Now, he doesn't get hurt as much, so there's that. I also like looking at after these things come down, and I promise you we'll play, because I thought what Windhorse had to say about Cooper Flagg was pretty interesting. One thing I wanted to look at, though, was the grade. I wanted to look at a couple of these grades that are coming in for some of these trades, because the Bulls didn't just make that trade. They made another trade with the who is it? I just like to look at these things both ways, and I kind of like this guy from ESPN, Kevin Pelton. He's always this. Oh, and Kevin, also we had the Porzingis trade, and that's interesting because this is a guy who gets passed around. Obviously, the Mavericks had him. Then he goes to Celtics, and he was on a Celtics championship team. Let's not act like he didn't help them. But then they send him to Atlanta. Now, Atlanta gets Kuminga, and he's a good wing. I mean, Kuminga's extremely talented. He wanted out of the Warriors, and it never was a great fit because they were still kind of holding on to Steph and Draymond in the old days, and they just couldn't for whatever reason. And part of it is because Jimmy got hurt, before Jimmy got hurt, and you would thought, well, Jimmy's now out. Maybe this is Kuminga's time to shine, and he did to a certain extent. I don't know. There was a lot of unhappiness there, and so they dealt him. He is a extremely talented player. Now, Porzingis is probably now, surely, Kevin, Porzingis is finally 30 years old, is he not? I mean, some of these guys that have been in the league since they were 20 or 21, you think in your mind, like, gosh, this guy has to be 32 years old by now. Porzingis has his obvious health issues. I would imagine Porzingis is finally at an age of like around 30 or 31. He's got to be pushing that. He's got to be in the 29 to 31 range, I would think. Maybe he's 30. I don't know. But let's see. Kevin is my man when it comes to quick things like that. 30. Okay, so I was around there. What can he do for you? Protect the rim, space the floor, shoot the three. I mean, can he send a jolt of energy into that team? Yeah, because you got Steph, Kristaps, Draymond. I mean, you got, and now they traded Hield in this deal. Buddy was a guy beloved, and I think Kerr loved him, but they had to go ahead and throw him into this deal and to get Kuminga. That to me, this is an interesting one because, again, kind of like AD, this guy's always going to miss a lot of time. He's always going to be hurt. But if you can get him for a stretch of games, he's still a highly productive player. Carlisle hated him. Wasn't a good fit. Luka hated him. Wasn't a good fit with the Mavs. Obviously, the Knicks decided they'd seen enough of him. And everybody that gets him thinks, oh, my gosh, we got Porzingis. I would say the only and even when he was with the Wizards or wherever he was, he actually put up some decent numbers. But I would say the only team that's ever been truly satisfied, briefly the Knicks, and then the Celtics winning a title with him. Now, there were three different guys or four that I would say had a bigger say in them winning that than Porzingis. But he was on the team, and he helped out that team. And he certainly didn't hurt them. He didn't hurt their chances. And he was able to come in and help them in the finals against his old team, the Dallas Mavericks. So there is that. Well, we appreciate everybody joining us on Twitter for all this trade deadline talk. It's been very, very interesting to monitor everything. And I just wanted to, as we come down the stretch here, we already knew that Giannis, they decided not to do it, and they're going to hold on to him till the summer. And I was going to look and just check with our man Shams Sharania to see if there's anything else. Yep, John Morant remains with the Grizzlies past today's deadline. Multiple teams, we're told, Shams is reporting, were intrigued by Morant's talent, but none were willing to make a serious offer, sources said. I mean, Morant playing next to Cooper Flagg, people say, oh my gosh, he would hurt Cooper's development. You can't bring somebody in there that has that attitude and all of that. Ooh, I would have been tempted. You say, what about Kyrie? What about him? I mean, is he out there? Is he playing? Is he 34, 35 years old? Yes. How many more years is he going to be with the Mavericks? 1 more season? 2 more seasons? Come on now. We're not going to sit around and hold up our Cooper Flagg's future thinking about Kyrie Irving. I hope they get to play together. I think it'd be awesome. But Kyrie Irving's coming back from a very significant injury. I would have totally gotten involved in that. Nets are waiving Cam Thomas, allowing the guard to enter free agency. That's one deal that came down at the deadline. And the biggest deadline deals were the Zubac deal, going to be the future running mate with Hallie, with Tyrese Halliburton. And I think that is a good deal. Oh, Kev, did you look up and see what picks those were? That's going to be important for all your stuff with the Pacers. What first round picks did they give up for Zubac?
It was a 26 protected one, so I don't know if that's the lotto one that they will probably end up with, provided they continue to, although they're getting better toward the end of the season, which doesn't serve them well in the draft. I don't know.
No, they're still going to be bad this year. Are you saying it's a 26 protected pick?
Yeah.
But did the pick come from who they did this trade with?
Yeah.
Or did it come? Was it another team's pick? Yeah, it's kind of hard to. You kind of have to know, whose pick it is. Okay, that's okay. I'll keep hunting that a little bit because we kind of need to know. Oh, what was the other pick, Kev? So they get a 26 protected. What was the other first round pick? Did you see? Anyway, we'll get that.
I'm looking.
Okay. All right. We need to know. We just need to know that, and you're going to need to know that for all your stuff. Okay. The Hornets. The Mavs made another trade in the last hour. Now, we were doing a bunch of other stuff, and this is not that big of a deal, but I do want to share it with you because we do have a lot of Mavericks people that come to us. The Charlotte Hornets are trading Tyus Jones to the Mavericks for Malachi Branham. Sources tell ESPN. Mavericks have had interest in Jones this season and get him today. The Hornets open up a $7 million trade exception. All right, Tyus Jones has been around. He's been a reserve. He's had to fill in as a starter at times for years. It gives them an actual NBA point guard. All right, it's just something that for whatever reason, the genius is running the Mavs decided to start this season without a point guard. I know D'Angelo Russell was here, but Jason Kidd quickly ended up hating him. And so the Mavs bring back Tyus Jones. Malachi Branham was kind of a scorer. I think he shot the three okay. Whatever. I mean, the Hornets can have him. I think that's fine. Let me look real quick. Kevin's sending me something. Okay. Got the
all right. So you want to know?
Give me the details on Zubac.
Okay. So the 26 first round pick protected means if the pick falls outside of the 1 to 4 or 10 to 30 range, they'll get that one. So if they still get the top lottery pick, Pacers will still get that one, or the back half. So it's only in that kind of sweet spot of the 5 to 9.
What's the other pick?
The other first rounder is a 2029 unprotected.
2029 unprotected. So again, that all these things are viewed as assets. It's kind of like the best thing that happened to the Mavs, besides just getting rid of Anthony Davis, was not the picks they got. It's somewhat of the picks. The biggest thing was the financial flexibility. The great things about the picks is they went from having like 3 moving forward. I mean, they really, were not great on their assets. They got 3 second rounders and then those 2 first rounders, and then suddenly they had like 8 picks to work with. And you don't look at those second round picks and like, gosh, I cannot wait till we draft that second rounder. You use them to sweeten deals and to try to get things done, much like all these teams are doing. So Tyus Jones to the Mavs, and then Kevin gets us the final word on Zubac, and that will be interesting. The Pacers have now, again, there are a lot of haters on Miles Turner, and I get it. I thought he had a lot of good years with the Pacers. He put up really good numbers. I think Carlisle did not like him. He played him, and he knew he needed him, but he didn't like him. And then, of course, didn't really trust him in the finals, and it just wasn't great. So again, he had his moments. But they were able to obviously get him off the payroll, but now they have a legit starting center. And we're talking about a 29-year-old dude, 14-11, and he's just going to kill it as a rebounder. I was trying to remember in the past, I've had these thoughts in my mind about him. I can't remember if it's offensive rebounding or defensive rebounding. I think it's as an offensive rebounder, he is just really, really effective, and he's a high motor guy. And so Zubac is a guy that you want. he is a guy that is going to battle and then help you and score when you need him to score. But he's a really good guy to put with Halliburton and the rest of that team moving forward. So good trade, I think, by the Pacers. And that, again, that's why I had Kevin try to explain that pick, because I think sometimes we go 2 first-rounders. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. What are you doing? But it's not. They're not always true, pure first-rounders. One is an unprotected in 29. And again, these are things that you just have in your back pocket for a rainy day. When we get to the 29 draft, will we still be like, oh, that's the one they got from them? That pick will probably be gone by then. Okay. They'll probably try to do things by then to check on all that. Okay. I do love, Kev, real quick. Let's do the landing. Thank you, Brazos Landing. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Lindsay family. We love you guys. And man, it's always fun. The landing, the Bang Bang Shrimp, everything you guys do. Kevin, I keep forgetting this, but Kevin is he's got Baylor women's tennis duty, and he does PA work for them and does a really nice job of that. And they've got something happening tomorrow during our, like a dual meet or something going on during our show.
There's a round robin, and they've got Rice tomorrow at noon.
Okay. So that's going to bump Kevin off the his usually Mosley Show duties. And so the Z-Man, Zach, who's a great friend of mine, will step in and he'll do a beautiful job. And Kevin will leave him with all sorts of information, and then Zach will ignore all of it. No. I was curious, though, before you go, I want to get your Super Bowl pick, and then I want to hear this Super Bowl conspiracy theory you've been talking about. What's going on with that?
All right. So I'm going to give you the theory to lead to my winner. Okay.
All right.
So have you seen or heard about this one? The logos from the past several years end up with the same colors of the teams that end up in the Super Bowl, right? You familiar with this? You heard this one? Okay. So here's some examples. Obviously, last year was a bit of a stretch because it was kind of pink and lime green to be the Chiefs and the Eagles again. But this year, the logo was all kinds of weird colors because it was San Francisco, and so that didn't quite fit. So this is a picture that the NFL put out on their social media the day before the first game this year. Has all 32 teams represented by a player and the Lombardi and Levi Stadium in the background. But if you zoom in, the two closest quarterbacks to the Lombardi are Darnold and Drake May. The two quarterbacks that are there. Now, I don't know how much, because, you got Sauce Gardner here. He didn't even end up on the same team and went 2-15 as a total. Malik Neighbors is actually the closest, maybe aligned here. But the two closest quarterbacks, and then you would say the closest quarterback here is Drake May. And so, as much as it pains me as a Colts fan, I am going to say the conspiracy is real and it is true, and the Super Bowl winner will be the Patriots, according to the conspiracy bought into by me. So,
okay,
and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think, with these two teams, it's going to be a defensive battle. So I think I had a point total of like 32, I think. Defensive battle.
Oh, my gosh. I wish you were setting the lines in Vegas. I would bet the over all day. I think
it's at 45, 44 and a half, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, I'll take the over on that all day. I honestly think I'll give my actual.
It's the best defense in the league in the Seahawks. So that's why I think, and the defensive coach.
I just watched the Rams slice and dice them. I mean, are we acting like the But the Patriots don't have decent offensive players? Are we acting like Drake May hadn't put up huge numbers this year? I'm just saying the Rams completely ran up and down the field on Seahawks. I mean, I'm with you. They're great. They are really staunch against the run. Whoa. In case the Patriots are thinking about running the football. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Hamilton, and that whole gang over there for the Seahawks. That's a great run defense. You know, I always love it when one of those Cowboys players, you know, they love their time in Dallas, but to go get a Super Bowl, they got to go elsewhere. Thank you, Kevin. That was good. I like a good conspiracy, and I didn't know it was like I'd forgotten it had all kinds of pictures involved and colors and all kinds of stuff. And certainly that's very interesting. Kevin, we never did share our wind horse, but that's okay because we were freezing a little bit today. I don't want Brian to freeze up on us, so we'll save that for another, because that'll still last. His thoughts on Cooper Flagg aren't going to change, so I may even see if old Z wants to use that tomorrow. Kevin, you know where Z will be doing the show from? The studio. The legend of the Rogue Media Studios, high above the Alico building. All right, exciting times. Good. Thank you to Cam Stewart. Thank you to Kevin Hoosier Hall. Thank you to the Rogue Media Network, Corey Dickman and his whole crew. Thanks to everybody who was a part of this one.
Did you want the Schmaltz question as we close out?
Oh, thank you. Let's do the trivia. The Schmaltz's trivia. If you're still watching us, which I hope you are, answer this question. You can either do it on my Twitter at Matt Mosley, MattMosley, or you can comment on our YouTube page. That's the way to guess the correct answer to this. Kevin, and you win 2 free sandwiches to the greatest sandwich shop in all of Central Texas, Schmaltz's. Kevin, what do you have for us?
All right, so you said I can make it about anything, and you particularly directed me to Indiana sports with the trade deadline and the big trade for the Pacers. You might have to go and dig on our All Indiana Sports podcast to find this, but the Pacers are on track for their worst season ever. So what is the other season that we have been kind of tracking all year as, to date, complete the worst season of the Pacers? You have to give the year, right? The year of the worst season record-wise ever for the Pacers. It wasn't back to the ABA days. It's in the NBA days. And I was alive just barely during that time. So
I was having trouble tracking you for a second, but now you got me back in. The Pacers obviously on track for a really bad season, although they just got a good center, 13-38 as we speak.
Yep.
What was the worst season in Pacers history?
Yep. Record-wise.
At what year and what was the record? And you win 2 free sandwiches. And we don't care if you Google, it's fine. The quickest Googler can win. But you either tweet at me and I'll take care of you, or do it on the deal and Kevin will take care of you, and we'll get you your two free sandwiches to Schmaltz's. Kevin, where's that thing? I like that Trivia Thursday thing you put up there. Where's that? Oh, yes. Trivia Thursday for Schmaltz's. What a way to end the show. Now, since it's so pretty and it's 60, let's see what the weather is real quick. I'm on my weather bug. 68 and sunny. I'm headed out to play some tennis. I want everybody to have a great one. Thank you, Kevin, and good luck tomorrow at the round robin tennis tournament. I hope Joey and the young women do a great job. Go get them, Bears. Thank you to the Brazos Landing, Claude and Becky Lindsay. You're the best. Good night.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances,
we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. If you get a call saying they're going to lock you in jail for missing jury duty unless you pay a fine, that's fake. Scammers use scare tactics to force you to act without thinking. Just hang up the phone.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
Boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.